Welcome back. Welcome back to the Les Lounge.
Welcome back. Good to see you again.
We are.
Do you just feel like there is no air left to breathe? Do you just
We are still talking with Tawni and Yuki a little bit. This is Yuki. And oh, wait. Have to take
Gotta have a sip.
Gotta have a sip. Where we left off. So we are now heading into a place where life is getting difficult and more complicated. We are an adult and we are becoming more aware of who we truly want to be, but at this point in time can't be. Take it from there, Tawni.
Sure. I think, first of all, I think with all those years, I had deeply internalized something like what I want is not accessible, or what I'm feeling is something I can't have, and actually what I'm feeling is something that's wrong. You know?
Wrong.
And even though I grew up in Southern California and I'm exposed to people who are either gay or lesbian, something is like, okay, that's fine, I support that, but not for me.
Right.
So anyway, I think that probably the times it really started to hit me a lot was in my 20s in university.
Okay.
And so if you can rewind to the 80s, which, yes, you got it. If you can rewind to the 80s, there's this guy called Boy George.
Oh, yes.
And I just couldn't, like when I would see Boy George on stage and he would dress up as a, he dressed feminine on stage and then performed, that did something to me profound.
Okay, somebody is getting away with this.
Yeah, somebody can do it.
Had David Bowie never quite
Oh my
hit
God, yes,
Bowie?
David Bowie registered very deeply with
Okay.
me, even when I was in junior high school. And I think it's like I just had that attraction to him and his music. And so that's something that, especially like I felt such a deep sadness when he passed away. But if I think about one song that just registered of David Bowie, he had that song Changes.
Yeah.
And it's just the lyrics, the song, and the whole David Bowie being David Bowie.
Right.
That just resonated very deeply with me, very much so.
So these people are like, they're holding the machete for us in a way, and they're whacking down those
The crazy
societal,
forest, yes.
that crazy forest that society is blocking our way.
Yeah.
So you still went down a path of being normal.
Quote unquote, yes. Air quotes.
Air quotes. Yes, exactly. You still felt the need that it's a protection, it's a shield.
Oh, it's 100% a shield. So I think that I just, in a way, sometimes I got used to living in a manner that was, I guess you could call it play acting. And so that I thought like, well, these are the things that are going to make me happy, so I'm going to go ahead and do these things. So what are some of those things? Education, career, marriage. And so on and so forth. And so I kind of just went down those paths because I thought, well, that's going to make me okay. So, and everybody else is doing it, so it must be okay. And so in a way, it is a little bit like, it's kind of like living a cardboard cutout type of life. It's like a facade.
Yeah.
And so that's what I was trying to do.
And it's exhausting.
It's very exhausting,
It's
yes.
exhausting, yeah. So you see Boy George and you see David Bowie and, a handful of other people. It's expected of them, those Trailblazers. It's almost shocking in a way, and then we get used to it. But there are people, standing in the wings going, oh my God, I wish I could do that. I'd be that strong, that brave. I wasn't. I went down that path. I got married. So you met a woman and got married. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
I got married in 1990. I'd met a woman a couple years before that. And, in one way I'd say, yeah, did we really love each other? Yes. But also was that all of me? Obviously not, but it was a part of me. And I loved her, and also there was at the time, I think somewhere deeply subconsciously, maybe I felt like, okay, I'm good now.
I fixed myself. I got
exactly.
to this point.
Yes, I'm good. I don't have anything to worry about. I'm married now, and we'll go about having this, constructed middle class life.
But the facade never went away.
Of course,
The
no.
exhaustion never goes away.
No, it just gets stronger with time. For
All
me,
right.
or that's how it was for me. It just became stronger. And I think if you juxtapose that, I worked in information technology, and I think a lot of the rise of our communities, especially the trans community, really started to take off with the rise of the internet.
Because you could connect with each other.
You could discover there's all these people that were the same as you. And this mental isolation starts to be chipped away at.
Did you find any connection with any other, I'm just going to say people who were struggling like you, those fellow comrades, in a way,
I think that...
before the internet?
Before the internet? No.
No.
I was too frightened.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did the internet provide an anonymity for you?
Exactly.
Okay.
It provided like a safety and anonymity,
Yeah.
and maybe almost like it's game playing. So whatever happened there, whatever. That was just play.
Was it always at a distance? Did you ever?
Yeah, it was at it. Well, what would happen is that, as time grew on, which a lot of transgender people do, is that I would buy female clothing in secret and hide it. And if my wife was out, then I would I would dress and then hopefully get undressed quickly before she would get home and hide it all back again.
Did you ever do anything like that as a younger person, or did that start after you were married?
It really started to come on strong after I was married. I was actually, let me correct that. When I was in junior high, I used to steal my older sister's clothing, and magically it would disappear from my room. And I just assumed she took it back.
Oh.
But I found out many years later that I talked to my older sister about it after I'd come out to her. And she's like, I never did that. And I'm like, oh my God, my mom knew.
She never took the clothes back.
My mom knew, but I never, and she never said anything. I think my mom was trying to protect me in her own way. So yeah,
Wow.
I think in
Bless your mom.
Totally. I think I was probably 13 or 14 at the time. I would take her clothing, I would dress in her clothing, when I had some of that sacred private time.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like I'd leave it in somewhere that I thought was secret, then it would just disappear. And I thought, oh, my sister knows. Okay, well, she knows, maybe she's okay, But little did I know, she never knew.
So many years later, you find out it was your mom protecting you.
Yeah.
Wow, that's special.
I think deeply it's there's parts of this that are so subconscious. We don't think about our behaviors or our actions. In one way, the role of the mother is to protect.
It is.
And then on another way, we know what the father's role, and then the role is us as kids.
She could have been protecting everybody. You, herself, your dad, the family.
Exactly. And
it's,
so...
Yeah, it's not up to us to figure out where that went, but it's interesting.
And I think also you're bringing back memories as we speak, because I couldn't really be myself because I was so confined. What happens to kids if you can't be yourself? Either one, you act out, or when I was young, I struggled a lot with depression as a young kid. And so as a young kid, it was depression or being sick. I was always sick as a kid. But I think really that was just like, an exaggerated psychosomatic thing. Because if you can't be yourself...
That's making me think.
Yeah.
That's making me think a lot.
So 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th grade, I was always sick. I was in and out of doctor's offices, hospitals, everything.
Did you ever tell anybody, like when you were in junior high, that you were depressed? I mean, not like I'm depressed but I'm just depressed. Did you ever?
I was scared. I think in a way that maybe what a theme many of us have to deal with is a lot of bullying. And so maybe the bullying unconsciously starts with with my father. And though everybody's quote unquote well-intended, that happened, and then that carries on to the school.
Yeah.
So when you're on the receiving end of that, that leads to a lot of, and not being yourself, that leads to a lot of depressive issues.
We know but stress.
Yeah.
Stress a lot. Just
So I think when I grew up, when I was young, I liked time by myself, because time by myself, even if I couldn't dress feminine, I could go off into my own mental space without
Right.
worrying about it.
The making of an introvert.
Yes.
I get that. Just leave me alone.
Exactly.
You know, those teenagers.
And I think in a way that's why I majored in computer science. And one of the things is like, well, it's a gig, I can get money for that gig, and people will leave me the you-know-what alone.
Yeah.
And I want to be left the you-know-what alone.
Yeah. So, okay, let's fast forward.
Sure.
And you are working in IT, where people can leave you there, you know what, alone. But you're married. You're still hiding. There's this facade. What happened next? Did you tell your wife? Did you ever open up to your wife?
I think what happened, oh my God, this is so powerful. What happened is I started having, my wife and I at the time were trying to conceive. And at the same time, I was having some health issues. So me being the enterprising person that I was, I found a natural healer who helps couples get pregnant. That was what he did. He was, and this guy was just the most amazing healer I've ever met. I mean, he was just naturally gifted. That's the way I put it. And so he's like, I have to work with both of you to make this equation work. And so he started working with me and basically said, well, you know, all of your energy systems in your body are shut down, all of them. And he goes, I can help you. You know, I can help you open up, and I can help in your body function the way it's meant to. But we have to start talking because something's going on in your head, and I don't know what it is, but I feel something really different. It's going on inside of you, inside of your head. And so he was really the first person through a lot of very compassionate and kind coaxing that I ever admitted that I like to dress in women's clothing.
I see.
And then he's like, okay, well, let's talk about that. And then so he persuaded me to talk to my wife about it.
Okay.
And that didn't go well. so yeah.
That's a cliffhanger. And we will talk about it some more next week.
Okay,
Thank you, Tawni.
thank you.
There is no air left to breathe. Do you just wanna to be left outside the grid? It's all for sure. You didn't know.